Hi, my name is Tyree Boyd-Pates. I am the founder and principal of NOMMO Cultural Strategies, and I am based here in the beautiful Los Angeles, California, born and raised. NOMMO Cultural Strategies is a consultancy that advises top companies, organizations, and studios on African-American art, history, and culture. It's ironic being a Black entrepreneur because you feel that you have all of what it takes to move the needle, but you also don't have the things that it takes to move the needle, right? It's a very interesting tension. And the tension I felt was that, one, I have the expertise, the company has the expertise, we can move the needle, but what about the operations? What about the logistics? How do we solidify an infrastructure, not just for the sake of the business, but how do we think about institution building? For small businesses, small Black businesses, we were taken to task through the pandemic. Several of my friends still had goals of supporting our community here locally, but there were a lot of things that undermined them financially and otherwise. No one knew that when the pandemic was about to begin or the lockdown was going to begin, but also no one knew that we were going to be walking into a civil rights moment. And so after the death and murder of Lamont Arbery, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, there was a clarion call for the type of work that I was doing. And I understood in that moment that there was an ancestral connection that I already knew was speaking toward me, and that I was actually ready for this moment, even though I didn't know it was on the horizon. One of the avenues to make Black history in America is owning our own enterprises. The urgency of continuing small businesses and contributing to them is a historical act. And if we want to continue Black history, we have to support Black businesses. Like, full stop. I was on the listserv and I heard that there was a partnership with Be Good, and I was like, I think this is my chance. So I got the invitation to go to the luncheon, and Dr. Ivy was up there and she began to call the names of the businesses. And there was one or two folks that she was starting to call, but they were at the table I was sitting at. One gets called for the grant for $10,000. We're like, yeah, we're like celebrating, oh my gosh. Then number two happens, and we're like, whoa, this is getting crazy. I kid you not, my business was number three. And when Dr. Ivy, when she said NOMMO Cultural Strategies out loud, it was a confirmation. It was absolutely a confirmation. And I kind of blacked out for a minute. Everything kind of went opaque. And I walked up on stage. She shook my hand. We took a photo. I think she gave me the check. It's all kind of a blur these days. And that type of validation and affirmation was just enough of a push for me to say my work entrepreneurially matters, and that I can do what other people didn't think it was possible. Some of the milestones that I've achieved since receiving the grant funding has been quite large. Hire freelancers to support the research that I'm doing for my clientele. Freedom School Online has launched its own summer school, virtual summer school this year, where we are teaching the Black history behind the banjo. And next month we are offering accessible education about the rich history of Black cowboys in Los Angeles. And these types of instructional opportunities are because of the support of the grant. And I'm proud to be able to not only be an entrepreneur who is community focused, but also one who educates as well. And I'm grateful that there are people dedicated to and committed to making sure that I have a chance. My business has a chance, but more people need to come to that table. And economic inequity is something that I believe will make or break a democracy. And if we want to repair this democracy, we have to attack it full front and make sure that entrepreneurs like me and others have a real fair shake. Ms. Knowles Carter, from the bottom of my heart as an entrepreneur, I would love to say thank you for seeing NOMMO Cultural Strategies as good soil to sow into.